Good afternoon. My name is Kanika Tolver, and I'm the author of Career Rehab. And today we're going to be talking about how to be a brand and not an employee. I'm the author of Career Rehab, and in my book, I have a chapter dedicated to how you can build your personal brand for your career and how you can let go of the employee mindset. So today we're going to walk through a great presentation that's going to explain to you how you can be a brand and not an employee. So let's check it out. This is me. My name is Kanika Tolver, and I am this awesome author, but I'm a wife. I'm a technologist by trade, so I'm in the tech industry. I've been featured, all over different media outlets, as you guys can see on the slides. But I really enjoy helping people through my coaching programs, my events, my webinars, and my digital resources on kanikatolver.com. All right, that's a little bit about me. So this is the overview of today's presentation. We're going to go through three sections. The first section is branding. How do we brand ourselves? The second section is marketing. How do we market ourselves out there? How do we sell ourselves is the third section. So we're going to go through these three sections, and we're going to have an amazing time here in this presentation. So let's dive into it. So this is the first section. So the first section is all about branding. So the power of branding, how to, let go of the employee mindset, how to adopt the branding mindset, how to become an industry expert, how to develop a good solid resume and cover letter, how to create a great LinkedIn profile for your brand, how to create a blog, website, and product. So we're going to talk about how you can take things to a whole nother level with a blog, a website, or product. Then as you become a brand, you want to become an expert. So we're going to talk about white papers, presentations, and ebooks. So let's dive into this first section of branding. So the power of branding. The power of branding is so important. I really like this slide because we think of brands like Nike and Reebok, and we think of Starbucks and Chick-fil-A, but we are brands ourselves. So we can actually have a brand for our career that can increase our growth. Our sales would be more like our salary, how much we make, how much we want to make. Our customers would be like our clients or the companies that we work for. Our awareness will be everything that we put out there online so people to get to know what our brand is about. And then all of these things equal success for our career brands. So that is the power of branding. The same way we look at these companies, we are little companies ourselves. We have to be CEOs of our career brands. The next slide is really talking about the employee mindset. So the employee mindset is one that does just enough work to get the job done, but doesn't go above and beyond. And you gotta let go of that employee mindset and shift to a brand mindset. A brand is a person or a company that goes above and beyond to provide a unique service or product. We are brands within our careers, and we have to look at ourselves like that. So we have to adopt the branding mindset even at work. The next slide is 4 ways to let go of that employee mindset. How do we let go of that employee mindset? So we have to really first stop undervaluing all the things that we do every day. Even though it's redundant, we have to stop doing that. We have to value the small and big things. We have to value the relationships that we have with people. So this is our stakeholders, our team members, the leaders. We have to really value those relationships, and we have to stop thinking that because we communicate with these people on a day-to-day basis that these relationships don't matter. We have to start finding new ways to display our knowledge. Presentations, attending conferences, conference calls, briefings, web meetings, any way that we can put our information out there, we have to start doing that. And the last thing is we have to make sure that we are attending all corporate events, all hands meetings, and we are letting people get to know who we are at these events. These are just 4 ways that we can let go of that employee mindset. The next slide is really talking about 3 ways to embrace a branding mindset. So now that you started to let go of those, just traditional employee ways of doing your job, now you have to embrace that branding mindset. So I really think it's so important as a brand is to really document all the great things that you're doing. Keep track of that on a weekly basis or bi-weekly basis, because these are your accomplishments. This is how you're going to shine. The next thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you display effective and good, clear communication in meetings, face-to-face meetings, conference calls, emails. When you pick up the phone, make sure that people get to know that you know exactly what you're talking about and you effectively communicate at all times. And then we want to make sure whether we do things redundant, like reports. If there's a task that you do on a regular basis that you think is small, we have to make sure that we call it out to look big. Whether it's a report, whether it's a spreadsheet, whether it's a presentation, whether it's a document that we do every week, we want to make sure that we are delivering quality deliverables, but we are calling it out in a way that looks big and stop making things sound so small. So these are just 3 ways to embrace a branding mindset. All right, so this is the slide that I really love because this basically kind of identifies your brand. So you have your education, you have certifications, you have college degrees, you have a diploma, whatever you have acquired over the years as far as education, you want to make sure that these things always identify your knowledge. The next thing is your experience. Experience is volunteer experience, your professional experience, any type of projects that you've worked on, call those things out to identify your brand, on your resume, on your LinkedIn profile. These things really, really are amazing things that you can call out for your professional experience. And the last thing is expertise. We all are experts at something. So the things that you're really knowledgeable about, things that you have learned and you know the most about, make sure that you are calling out those technologies, those methodologies, those theories, anything that's going to make you shine as an expert. You need to make sure that you're using that to identify your brand. All right, so we're going to go into the 5 ways to build your personal brand. So I think it's so important for us to be continuous learners because we really need to make sure that we're building our brand on a regular basis. So these are just 5 things that you guys can do to continue to build your brand on a regular basis. So I think working on really challenging projects really, really sets you apart because you become an expert. You really need to step up and ask to be a part of those amazing, challenging projects. Then enroll in training, take training online, ask your job to send you to training, attend industry-related conferences. This is going to allow you to build your expertise and knowledge all the time when you continuously learn. Getting more certifications, the 3rd one, I really like this because this really separates you from everyone else. When you get certified in something, you really become an expert. And if you can get certifications on a regular basis, that'll be an amazing idea for your brand. I love listening to podcasts. Podcast allows me to learn information very fast. So if you could just listen to some industry-related podcasts, if you're in tech, if you're in HR, subscribe to some of those podcast shows and listen to some of the industry experts. And then, if you're not into reading a book or you don't like to read books, you can read one career-related article or blog. Subscribe to those blogs. Find those subject matter experts that write on a regular basis about the things in your industry. All right, those are 5 ways to build your brand. All right, we're going to go to the next slide, and we're going to talk about how you can build your cover letter and resume. These are the 5 sections that are really key to your resume. So you want to make sure that you always have a professional summary. This lets people know, gives the highlight of your career. It kind of summarizes your expertise and knowledge. You want to make sure that you have a professional experience section. This kind of outlines all of your jobs and all the different great things that you've done at those particular companies and organizations. You want to make sure you have education and certifications. If you have the traditional route with college degrees, you want to call that out. If you have gone the certification route and you have professional certifications, make sure you're listing those things out and make sure that you're kind of putting the information of what you got certified in and when you got certified. Then your computer skills or technical skills, you want to make sure that people know that you know how to use various softwares and technologies. You understand how to basically use different internet browsers, to networking technologies, to programming languages, whatever technologies you know how to use for your industry, you want to have a section for that. And lastly, you want people to know that you have won awards. So when you actually get recognized, you want people to know that you are an amazing person and you've accomplished some amazing things at work with your professional awards. And then you always want to make sure that you have a professional cover letter. Cover letters are optional sometimes, but you want to make sure that you have one when you're applying to jobs because sometimes they're required for certain companies. All right, so that's creating a cover letter and resume. That is the foundation of your brand. You need a cover letter and a resume for your personal brand, for your career. All right, so LinkedIn. I am a huge fan of LinkedIn. Anyone that follows me on LinkedIn, you guys can connect with me on LinkedIn. Anyone that follows me on LinkedIn know that I really, really love LinkedIn. LinkedIn is like the next step after you have a great resume and cover letter. You want to put your stuff on your LinkedIn profile. You want to create a LinkedIn profile because a LinkedIn profile is going to allow you to connect with so many people and to apply to jobs. So make sure that you guys create a great LinkedIn profile. Use your resume and create your profile and enter in all the information into your profile that you would have on your resume. You can apply to jobs and you can connect with other recruiters and other professionals in your field on LinkedIn. All right, so next we're going to talk about, how you guys can actually create a blog, website, and product. So this is for people that want to really stand out. They want to be a huge brand. This is for people that say, you know, I got a resume, I got a LinkedIn profile, but I have something extra I want to offer. So creating a blog, you can write articles, you know, that are around the things that you're knowledgeable about. You can write blog posts. This really makes you an industry expert. Then you can have a website. So I have kanikatover.com. I am an author, a coach, and a speaker. So I have a website that identifies all of my services and all of my knowledge. Then you can create a product. So creating a product is like an app. You can create a solution. You can create software. You can create all these different amazing things to make you stand out even more. And then you can sell that product because if that product or that solution or that service or that software is solving a problem, it really helps you kind of separate yourself from the other professionals that only probably have a resume and a LinkedIn profile. And then if you're like me, you know, you want to write a book, you know, you can write a book. Book really makes you an industry expert because then you can actually push that out there to so many other readers and viewers using Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes and Nobles, and you can have an audio book. So I think book is an amazing way to show your knowledge. All right, so we're going to go to online training. So now you got your resume, you got your cover letter, you got your LinkedIn profile, you may have a blog. Online training keeps the brand fresh. The more you do online training, you can continue to learn so much more. So these are a couple of resources that I use and my career coaching clients, they use on a regular basis to keep their knowledge fresh. So I'm a big fan of YouTube because it's always free. I'm a big fan of Udemy because you can do free courses and you can do paid courses for as low as $10.99 when they have their sale. Then you have Lynda, which is monthly subscription. So you can always do Lynda. I used to use lynda.com as a very good source as well. And Coursera, you can use that as well. They have free classes. They have a lot of good information out there from the big name colleges, the Ivy League schools. So there are a lot of courses and nano degrees that you can take for free, or you can take per course. So these are just a few online resources that I use to continue to stay fresh in tech, and you can use as well in your industry. All right, so we're going to jump into the marketing section. Now you've built your brand, and you have your LinkedIn profile, you have your resume, you have all this amazing knowledge that you've acquired through online training. We're going to talk about how to market yourself now, because that is the next level into being a brand and not an employee. So we're going to go through job boards, sites, the most popular to use. We're going to talk about how to build your LinkedIn network. We're going to also talk about connecting with recruiters, professionals, and industry leaders on LinkedIn. We're going to talk about social media marketing, how you can use and maximize social media to market yourself into the job that you want, or into doing business online, if that's something that you want to do as well. We're going to talk about attending networking events and how they're beneficial to your brand. And we're going to talk about how volunteering helps market your skill sets, and it helps you to meet so many new people when you volunteer within your industry. All right, so marketing. Let's jump into it. So marketing. Now that you have this amazing resume, you have this amazing cover letter, these are the most popular job board sites that I use myself and my career coaching clients use. So Indeed is one of the largest ones. Indeed has amazing amount of jobs on there. You can create a profile, upload your resume, you can start applying to jobs right away. Then if you are a person that want to go into the government, I've spent a lot of years in the federal government myself. A lot of my career coaching clients want to work with the federal government. You want to create a profile on USA Jobs. USA Jobs is the source for federal government jobs. If you want to apply to jobs and connect with people, you want to make sure you have your LinkedIn profile. LinkedIn is not just for creating a profile. You also can apply to jobs, and you can connect with other professionals through professional groups, or you can apply to jobs on their jobs section. Then you have clearance jobs. So clearance jobs is the site where if you have a security clearance and you specifically want to use, maybe you have a secret clearance or you have a top secret clearance, you can actually go through USA Jobs and apply to jobs for those jobs that require security clearances. And you can create a profile right on clearance jobs. All right, always make your profile searchable. That's how people are going to reach out to you. So those are my most popular job board sites that my clients have used. All right, so let's talk about LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is really the big benefit of LinkedIn is to network. That's why it's called LinkedIn. It's linking you with people that can help you. So you can connect with recruiters, you can connect with professionals just like yourself. You can also connect with industry leaders. So I would say, number one, join LinkedIn groups that are specific to your industry. So I am a part of a lot of project management professional groups. So if you're in cloud, you want to join some of the cloud groups. They're closed groups, closed communities where you can have conversations with people that are in the same field with you. The next thing you want to do is you want to make sure you connect with recruiters. So make sure that you're using LinkedIn to connect with recruiters. Search for recruiters. If you want to work for Google, go to the top of the search and search for Google recruiters and add them as a connection and explain to them that you're interested in working for the company. And then other things that you can do is just learn from so many great, amazing industry experts on LinkedIn. All right? So don't underestimate LinkedIn. All right? Social media marketing. We're all a part of social media. Most of us are part of different social media networks. This is how you take your blog, your websites, and your products, and you market it on social media. So if you have a blog, if you have a website, if you have a product that you've created, market it and sell it on social media. So take your blog postings, your articles, your website information, and retweet it on Twitter, reshare it on Facebook, share it on LinkedIn, share it on Instagram. Whatever social media network that you're on, maximize that opportunity to market your expertise and knowledge on social media. This is how you're able to connect with other professionals and possibly connect with other recruiters and people that are looking for your skill set. All right, that's social media marketing. Then we have attending networking events. I know this is, very hard for us right now during this coronavirus season, but when we are able to go back into the real world and able to attend face-to-face events, it's so important to use meetup.com and to find meetups in your area to connect with other professionals that are doing the same thing that you're doing or wanting to do the same things that you want to do. So meetup.com is an amazing way to connect with industry leaders, experts, and other professionals on a monthly basis. But due to coronavirus and due to all that we're going on right now, you can attend all those meetups virtually. You can attend conferences virtually. So don't underestimate that you cannot do this online. So I would definitely check meetup.com. Industry conferences. A lot of us in tech and a lot of us just in various industries, we attend annual conferences like the AWS conference. Microsoft has their conference and Google has their conference. You can also research attending these same conferences through virtual access now. So you can always research that as well. And then workshops and webinars are an amazing way to meet people and learn. And as you meet these people, you're introducing yourself to them so you can actually connect with them about new opportunities at the companies that they work for or they represent at these networking events. So attend networking events is very, very, very important to marketing yourself. All right. Volunteering. Volunteering is, people underestimate volunteering, but volunteering and working on special projects, whether it's at work, is an amazing opportunity for you to transition into a new office or a new field that you want to get into. So volunteer. Detailed opportunities are really good. So if you want to work in another group, I really suggest that you do a detailed opportunities is a great way to transition into a new field or to transition into a new group that you want to work with. So look into detailed opportunities at your current job. And then also become an ambassador of an industry-related organization. So, whether you want to, represent getting a certification and you want to support, the CompTIA folks, if you want to support the AWS industry-related organizations, volunteer for those organizations as you want to be a part of helping them put on events and conferences, or you want to help them promote their products and services. This is a great way for you to meet industry leaders that could help you land another position, or you could just advance your knowledge by indirectly marketing yourself as you volunteer. So volunteering is an amazing opportunity for you to meet new people, share your experience, and expand your network. All right, that's volunteering. All right, so now that you have conquered the idea of learning how to brand yourself, market yourself, the last part of this presentation is about how you can sell yourself. When you are a brand, you are interested in learning how to sell yourself because you set the foundation for your brand, you're marketing yourself, now you have to hook in selling yourself into a new job, creating a business opportunity, or just getting a promotion in your current organization. So selling yourself is really important. We look at products and services that people sell all the time, but we have to sell ourselves into the career that we desire. So we're going to talk about how to apply to jobs by selling yourself. We're going to talk about how to ask for company referrals, how to create a LinkedIn message. This is basically just using LinkedIn to send a direct message to someone and sell yourself. How to prepare for the job. How do you prepare for the job? How do you get ready to sell yourself for a new job? We're going to talk about how to prepare yourself for a job interview. It's important because you're selling yourself in this job interview. And we're going to talk about the follow-up. How do you seal the deal to selling yourself after you have gone on a job interview? So this is the selling section. So hope you guys are enjoying this amazing information about how to be a brand and not an employee. And don't forget, you can ask questions as we go here, okay? All right, so let's jump right into it. All right, so applying to jobs. So as you have your resume, you're marketing yourself online, I wanted to share some additional sites of where you can apply to jobs. So we talked a little bit about LinkedIn and USA Jobs. But I want to introduce to you guys clearjobs.net. So clearjobs.net is another website where you guys who have security clearances can set up a profile to apply to jobs. Clearance Jobs is a separate site that we talked about earlier, but Clear Jobs is an additional site that people with security clearances use all the time to land high-paying tech jobs. Then we have Dice. So Dice has been around for a very long time. For those of us that are in the tech industry, I think this is an amazing opportunity for you to create a profile on dice.com. They have a lot of job postings as well. And then, like I said, we always want to make sure that we are using Indeed and having our profile updated on Indeed, LinkedIn. And if you're in the government space, you want to use USA Jobs. It's so important to keep your resume up to date and keep your profile up to date because it notifies recruiters. This is how you're selling yourself online, by keeping your resume and all your profiles on all of these job board sites. You're keeping them up to date so you can sell yourself indirectly without even meeting anyone. All right. So this part is my favorite part because I think that people underestimate asking for company referrals. So company referrals is when you know that you want to apply to a certain company and you know somebody that works at that company. So say you want to work at Deloitte and you're like, hey, I found this job on Deloitte's website or on one of the job board sites, and one of my friends or someone on my LinkedIn, within my LinkedIn network works there. You can ask them to put you into the Deloitte system and it will basically cut out the middleman and they can directly refer you in, and a recruiter can pick up that referral and contact you directly for their job. They will trust your friends, your colleagues, or industry leaders that you may have worked with. They'll trust them first than you just blindly applying to jobs. So you want to make sure that you are connecting with people that work at the companies that you want to work at, because this cuts down on you just blindly applying and someone may or may not reach back out to you, but your chances are higher when you do a company referral. So ask your friends, your family members, your people that you went to school with, people that you work with at previous companies. Ask for a company referral. Send them the link to the job and send them your resume, and they can refer you into the company system for a job. That's how you're selling yourself. All right, so we are going to talk about how to create a LinkedIn introduction message. This is really, really critical because people sometimes are scared to introduce themselves to other industry leaders or hiring managers or recruiters, but this is allowing you to sell yourself and helping recruiters and helping HR folks. You're doing their job for them. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you craft a template message, and you want to let them know that you found a job. You want to link the job in the message to them. You want to introduce to them that you have interest in the job. And you want to attach your resume and cover letter in a private message. So the same way you send a direct message through Instagram or through Facebook or through Twitter, you can send a direct introduction message through LinkedIn. Make sure you connect with those folks first. Send them a connection invite, and then send the direct message to them, introducing yourself to them and letting them know about who you are, the job interest that you have at the specific company that you want to apply to, and letting them know which role you want to apply to and attach your resume. This will help recruiters, and they will be able to get a jump start on helping you get possibly a job interview. All right, this is how you send an introduction message. Make sure you guys are doing this. All right, so the next thing is preparing for the job interview. So You have to prepare for the job interview. It's so important that you guys make sure that you focus in on reviewing the qualifications. It's your cheat sheet to what they potentially will ask, and make sure your resume is aligned to those qualifications. So make sure you understand the technologies that are on the qualifications, the tasks, the duties and responsibilities, and be able to tell the story of how you've done that in a previous job or your current job. Number two, review the technologies. They're going to possibly ask you about technologies or technical questions. So make sure you know things about those technologies that are on the qualifications. So if they're asking about cloud, make sure you have basic understanding of cloud. Networking, make sure you understand networking. Make sure that you understand the cutting edge technologies that are called out in the job announcement. So if they say, hey, we want you to know Splunk, make sure that you know Splunk. If you want you to know AWS, make sure you know AWS. Researching the company is the third thing. You have to know what they offer, what services, what products, when they were founded, have they gone recently public? You want to make sure that you research the ins and out of that company, because you want to seem like that you are connected to wanting to work at that company and you clearly understand what that company offers. The next thing is preparing your own questions. So you want to make sure that you prepare your own questions, because you want to make sure that you have questions at the end of the interview to give them. You want to make sure that you prepare your own questions. So I always say have 2 to 3 questions prepared, and make sure that you ask those questions at the end of the interview. All right? So this is the follow-up. So now that you've gone on the interview, you have pretty much had a great experience, or maybe not so great of experience on the interview. Either way, you want to follow up within 48 hours. You want to make sure you send a thank you email, because you want people to know that you're interested in the job. Even if you're not interested in the job, you want to make sure that you are thanking them for their time and consideration for considering you for the interview. Because even if you're not a good fit, or even if this job offer doesn't come through, they may remember you for another job. So you want to make sure that you continuously follow up. If there's a panel, you want to get everyone's email address. If there was one person, you want to make sure you have their email address. If you don't have their email address, you want to make sure that you work with the recruiter, or you work with whoever set the interview up to properly, to get the proper information for everyone that's participating on the interview with you. So follow-up is important. This is like sealing the deal for the job. And this is like still selling yourself, because you don't want them to forget about you. So I say 24 to 48 hours. You want them to remember you. You don't want them to forget about who you were, and you send it like 72 hours or more, after the job interview. So this is another way to indirectly sell yourself and sell your interests. All right. So if you guys have questions, we'll be taking additional questions. Don't hesitate to ask, because I really want to make sure you guys can brand, market, and sell yourself. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this presentation. So even if you have questions, you can drop the questions, in the chat, and I'll answer them. But this is how you guys can stay connected with me. So if you guys are interested in working with me as in my career coaching program, you definitely can stay connected with me. These are all my social media handles at Kanika Tolver. And then you can also reach me at kanikatolver.com. This is my book, Career Rehab, 5-star rated book on Amazon. If you feel like you want to be a brand, and you want to be a brand, and you no longer want to be an employee, and you want to, get more skill sets, and you want to get more knowledge on that, this book, Career Rehab, will be a perfect guide for you to understand how to be a brand and not an employee. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I really enjoyed giving you this great information on how to brand, market, and sell yourself. So thank you so much for your time, and have a good day.